Hey there, and welcome to this mini training series that I've been really excited to put together for you. My idea behind it was to help you think about ways to have more ease and peace when you are imagining and executing how you want to market your art. Because I know that art making process gives you those feelings, and selling it shouldn't do something different. We want all of those wonderful feelings to come together so that you can further your art career in a way that feels good to you. So, in this first video, we're going to be talking about turning your passion into profit and how to think about selling your work in multiple ways without creating more work for yourself with multiple price points so that people who want the best of the best can have that, and people who love your work but really can't afford that best of the best can still have a piece of you. So, first off, one of the key components here is when you are creating work, if you don't already, always think about the work that you are creating in terms of a series of work. And that word means different things to different people. Some people will create one series for years and years and years and years or their whole lifetime. Others of you are going to want to skip around some. This might be for the people who are really multi-passionate and have all these different subjects or different techniques that they want to get out into the world or out of their head. And a lot of these people have trouble learning how to market their art because it feels so disjointed, but it really all comes together very nicely. When you think about it in terms of the different connection points that people will have with you or with your work or your subject matter. And that's something that I get into in my course, Revive Your Spark. But today we're not going there. Just wanted to give you the peace of mind that that answer is out there. Okay, so back to working in series of work. One of the reasons you want to do this is because it eliminates decision fatigue. You don't always have to be deciding what size canvas you need to buy next or what the next thing you're going to paint is or how you're going to do it. It really eliminates some of that blank page syndrome. And then if you take that a step further, when you're thinking about shipping your work or packing it all into your car for a festival or whatever you're doing, you already know what's coming. It's not this constant puzzle that you have to solve. You solve the problems once and they're done because you know the size, you know the price, you know the colors, you know all these things that you don't have to think about again until you want to. The second reason, or maybe I should say one of the other reasons that you should do it this way, is because it makes marketing your work so much easier, especially if you're thinking in terms of evergreen marketing, which is one of my favorite things, where the work that you put in once continues to work for you over time. It's not this idea that comes up a lot around like social media where I put all this time and effort into a post and I put it out there and maybe it does well or maybe it does poorly. But either way, it's like a flash in the pan and then it goes away. I want to help you think about, especially if you're in a place of, I need more ease, I'm feeling burnt out, I'm not sure if I want to do this anymore, I don't know if I'm in love with it anymore. How can you think about marketing your work from a place of ease and peace? We'll talk about some of that evergreen type stuff a little bit in the next couple of videos. But for now, a third reason that we want to think about working in a series, but also at the same time having those multiple price points, is it allows us to make what we want to make without always flip-flopping between what we think they want and what we want to make. For example, a lot of clients that I've had in the past will come and say something like, well, I need to stop making this work that I want to be making because I need to provide a lower price point for a promotion that I have coming up. And so I'm going to stop doing this and I'm going to start making that. And it's maybe related, maybe not, but how can we stop this constant flip-flopping so that we can bring all of these pieces together and still have that component of, I want to be able to promote something that's a lower price, or I want to have this especially special work that I can send to this gallery that I really want to be in. So again, in my Revive Your Spark course, we go deeper into what is it that you really want to be known for and want to be making. But I bet you have a general idea in your head already. So we're going to think about that for a minute. Start with thinking about the biggest or most complex or most time-consuming work that you want to make, the stuff that you're always putting to the side. We're going to call these your showcase pieces because they really show what you can do. And now that sounds really corny and I should rename it, but it's too late. They're also your most expensive work. I want you to use your gut feeling for a minute, your intuition, all the other parts of your decision-making system, not your head. What feels like an equal exchange for that type of piece to go out the door and you get something in exchange, which in our system, that is money. So you're getting something for what you have produced. What number feels like a good exchange for you? We're just creating an approximate price for these right now. Maybe you already have a price that you feel good about. Great, go with that. This approximate number is going to help us brainstorm the next parts. So don't be too precious about it. Just put a number in your head. That's it. Now you're going to want to start overthinking it after that. But now you've got a number and we're just going to put all that to the side. So let's say you value those showcase pieces at $2,500. So from there, we're going to use that vision to think about creating a range of prices. So that number you just had, 2,500, or fill in the blank, divided by 10. In this case, that's $250. So if we're still thinking about that biggest vision of what you want to be making, how could you make tweaks, change, whether it's size, whether it's how you execute it, whether it's the medium that you use, to still feel like an equal value exchange at that new price? So if I'm still making what I want to make, but I'm only charging $250 for it, how does it need to change in order for that to still feel like an equal exchange for both parties, where they're getting something that feels like a good price to them and you're getting a good amount of money back for it that feels like a good exchange for the work you put in, and everyone is happy? What would that work need to look like? And we're going to put one more option in here, which you may or may not want to take. But if you wanted a mid-range price, so we're going to take that $250, that introductory price number, and we're going to multiply it by 3. So in this case, your mid-range price is now around $750. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to take that price point and think about how we need to transform the work we really want to be making, whether it's size, technique, medium, simplification, whatever that is, to make that work that we want to be making for $750, where you think they would feel good about it and you would feel good about it. It's also possible to cut out the mid-range part if it gets too sticky in your head and just stick with those showcase pieces and the introductory price. Let's do a couple quick examples. For people that have work that takes ages to make, I know there's quite a few of you out there. We're sticking with our numbers here. We've got our $2,500 and our $250. One way that you can do this is you can sell your originals as is for that number, and then you can do a certain number, let's say 10, limited edition prints of that work at the original size. I don't see this done very often, but I think it makes a print more special if it's almost an exact replica of the original. They get the same feel, the same walk in the room, and wow, look at that nice sized piece of work, but they don't have to pay that higher price that not everyone has the money for. So in this case, it would be $2,500 for the original, and then you're selling an additional 10 full-size reproduction prints for $250, which I was doing some research earlier, and you're probably going to make about half of that. So if we're thinking about profitability, you're making about $125, but you're not having to do any additional work. So if your limited edition number was 10, you could bring in an additional $2,500 with a profit of about half that, making that one piece worth about almost $4,000. So you're increasing the amount of money that you can make per piece while still maintaining that special feel. And at the same time, all this marketing that you were doing for that piece, once it's sold, you still have something to offer. especially if you're doing that evergreen marketing that I was talking about, where hopefully for years and years, people are being sent to this work of art and there's still something available for sale and still a sense of urgency to buy it. Okay, so let's do a different example. Let's say that you're someone who churns out a lot of work quickly. You may want to take a different approach here because people love the idea of buying originals. They love having that special feeling. So if you're able to make your work very quickly, you probably want to use that lowest price point for the simplest or smallest version of your work that's offered as something completely unique. So I've had a lot of other clients who can make 5 or 10 pieces in one day. So if they're selling their biggest work at $1,000 and selling those 5 or 10 originals at $100, they're able to offer something unique that not everyone else can, but still feel like an equal exchange. We'll talk about strategic marketing in the next couple videos, but I really want to lay the groundwork here for talking about what you were selling in the first place so that that marketing can help you after you've put in that initial work to continue working for you. This is especially important to be able to continue selling that series even when you've moved on and want to create something new, because I know you get tired of talking about the same work over and over. I know you do, and that's okay. But we need a backup plan or it's just going to sit in your closet. So let's get to that next video.